Hey YouTubers, this is Marcus again with another video. Today we're going to take a look at my wife's 2006 Ford Taurus. This particular one has a 3.0 V6 in it. This one's got a bad idler pulley. I'm going to show you where that's at and how you know it's bad here. You'll know it's bad because it's I'm going to tell you guys ahead of time before I actually go outside, because between the wind and the engine noise it's kind of hard to show you what's going on. But basically your idler pulley is just there to kind of help keep tension on your belt. It's not actually attached to anything itself. It just sits on a bolt with some bearings in there, and over time those bearings will wear out and it'll start to squeak, and you'll notice the pulley wheel will kind of shift in and out a little bit, and that'll get worse as the condition of the bearings inside get worse. The risk is that if it goes out, there's nothing there for your belt to ride on. Even when it's still on there and flexing in and out, flexing that belt in and out on one pulley while the rest are sitting stationary will cause it to track back and forth across that wheel and across the adjacent pulley wheels, causing unnecessary friction and increased wear on your belt, maybe causing you to have to replace the belt earlier. So now it's actually calmed down quite a bit. It was pretty bad just a minute ago, but you hear that chirping, and there's so I'm over here at my wife's grandparents, so I'm going to run down to O'Reilly's and get a new pulley, and I'll be back in just a minute and show you guys how to replace it. Alrighty, so we're going to get to the task of replacing this idler pulley right here. You saw on the clip a while ago, or you will see right now depending on where I decide to put it when I'm editing things, that it's this pulley right here is your idler pulley on the 3.0 V6 in the 2006 Ford Taurus. And this pulley, let me take the new one out of the box here because I've got the new one. It doesn't actually attach to any, it doesn't actually drive anything. It's just there to kind of help keep tension on your belt and route it where it needs to go. And it's got some bearings in here, and these bearings, you know, they'll wear out over time. And what happens is it'll cause this pulley to start tracking back and forth and squeaking, and as it tracks back and forth, it pulls sideways on the belt. And if you notice, the adjacent pulleys here actually have ridges in them, so by tracking back and forth it causes the belt to rub the sides on these ridges, which will cause your belt to wear out faster. Alright, so I've got it set up here where I can remove the pulley now. I've got a 15mm open-ended wrench because the nut protrudes just a little bit on the tensioner pulley, so I could get the wrench onto it. And I've got another wrench with the jaws locked together. And instead of going in there and trying to find a diagram, I just used the box for the new pulley to draw how the belts run. So save me some time, hopefully. And what you do, now this is a little bit more difficult on a front wheel drive vehicle because the whole engine is turned sideways. So in say a rear wheel drive vehicle, all of your belts and everything are going to be over here up against where the fans are, but since it's a rear wheel drive, everything's turned sideways. Your belts are here, your transmission is over on this side. It's a little bit more difficult to get to, but you just crank on this and you'll see that belt. Well, it was loose. Let's get her back on there. Try this again here. Alright, if we can get it off one of the pulleys, that will be enough. You can let off, remove your wrenches. Alright, you'll also notice I removed jewelry before we got started here. And so now the belt should be able, may not even have to, I don't even have to take it all the way out of there. It's off the idler pulley, which was the important part. Now we can use our 15mm offset to get a hold of this one here, since it's slightly recessed, And now instead of forcing on this with my hand and maybe slipping and hitting a bolt and cutting myself, I'm just going to take a hammer and lightly tap it. And if that doesn't work, like it doesn't seem like it's going to, get yourself any kind of big long tube or even another wrench or something to get a hold of it with to give you leverage, because you don't want to go forcing, especially with your hand down in here like this, and hit something and cut yourself up. So let me get a better angle here. I think it just broke. There it goes. Now at this point you can use sockets, whatever. If you can, you don't ever want to use sockets to break really tightened down bolts, or ratchets I should say, because those little needle bearings in your ratchet can be destroyed very easily by doing that. So you use your sockets, but put them on a breaker bar or something where you ain't got to worry about that. Now that seems like it might be finger loose. Let me see. Not quite. Now you don't have to worry about greasing these. They come factory greased. You might try, if it's going out and you don't have the money or the time to replace it right away, you might try spraying a little bit of grease in there, but you want to try and keep it off the surface of the wheel and actually get it into the rotating mechanism, because, and that might help it, but as you can see here, they're pretty sealed. So it might help a little bit, but you need to get it replaced once it gets so bad. I mean, if it's squeaking, but you don't see any movement, you can probably let it go for a little while. But there we go. Now, there's a washer here on the back side. You can see that washer there. We're going to keep the washer and that washer and the bolt, because as you can see, the new one did not come with them. So we just need to transfer everything over. There we go. So need to feed the bolt. Flip it around here. There we go. Now we just need to putting the new one on is the reverse of taking the old one off. Once you get it started there, well, let me go ahead and move the belt so that it's in the right position here, because it's shifted a little bit on me. There we go. Get this threaded on. Now there's probably a torque rating for this. I'm not going to worry about a torque rating. I'm going to tighten it, you know, until it feels right. You know, once you've done a bit of work on vehicles, you can kind of tell when things are too tight. You know, if you've got to really force it, you know, let me back off a little bit. Now that's all I can get with my fingers. So we're going to take this 15 millimeter. Which side's 15? That one. And we're just going to continue to tighten here. Now this is another part where when you're tightening this, you want to really make sure that you don't let your finger slip or the wrench, because there's sensitive parts right here that you could damage if you slip and hit one of them with any amount of force. Alright, so now we're going to lock our 15 millimeter back on the tensioner. Just like we did a while ago. Lock the jaws of this other wrench into it to give us something to grab a hold of. And since the only one we removed the belt from was the alternator, we're just going to pull it right back up here, put it right back on the alternator. Alright. Remove that wrench. Give the idler pulley one last good tug just to make sure. There it is. Alright, so now, let me see. But let's double check our diagram here. We've got it, the idler pulley. It appears to be going the proper route. Didn't come off of none of the other pulleys. So what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and start the vehicle and see if that squeaking and wobbling is gone. So the squeaking is gone, and as you can see here, if I can get my camera dismounted, there's the new idler pulley right there. Let me get you focused in there best I can. And you see that in and out motion that the old one was doing no longer exists. Let me turn my hat light on here. There we go. That in and out motion that the old one was doing has stopped, and the squeaking noise is gone. So we are done here. So if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, or suggestions for future videos, please feel free to post in the comment section below. Or can message on YouTube. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Hopefully this will help some of you guys out. Y'all have a good day.